Hi, I'm Jane Blue, and this is Taking Over the World, episode 14. Pose as a friend, act as a spy. Law 14 has been used for centuries all over the globe, but it means a lot more than just being James Bond. It's directly related to keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. Use of this has been dated back to Ashoka the Great.
Ashoka the Great of the Mauryan Empire was a friendly and peaceful Buddhist leader. He reigned from 265 to 238 BCE.
Now you might think this is a little harsh for a Buddhist leader, but Ashoka actually had a huge spy system and secret police network to spy over his people. Now we move on to the Qin dynasty in 221 BCE.
The Qin began the censorate, which was a spy network that would be used throughout China's history.
The censorate was used to check the people in the bureaucracy and investigate suspicious cases, if there were any. But the censorate also set high prices for information on crimes, which encouraged the people throughout the empire to spy on each other. They were being friendly with each other, but also gaining information so that they could give it to the government. Miss Blue, how is this an effective example of the law if the Qin only lasted 15 years? Well, younger version of me, even though the Qin only lasted a short period of time, that doesn't mean that they didn't have a lasting impact on China's history until the 1900s. Next on our timeline is Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar, the famed dictator of Rome, reigned in 49 BCE.
Little do people know that he had an elaborate spy network that would inform him of plots against him. He may have even known about the plot that did lead to his death. Many of the spies in the spy network were messengers, and they were obviously acting as friends because they would send letters for people. But they would also read those letters and inform Caesar and other important officials of its contents. Next, we move on to the Byzantines in 330 CE. Byzantine officials would lead their spies to the border of the empire.
From there, the spies would travel to the capital city of the surrounding area and pose as merchants.
Who would ever suspect a friendly merchant of being a spy? Genghis Khan, famed ruler of the Mongol Empire, who was born in 1162 CE, would send out spies for months at a time to document the areas he planned on conquering. Once these spies had gathered enough information on the territory, Khan would send out his armies to take over that area with the heightened knowledge that they had gained of territorial weaknesses. Hey, do you remember the Qin censorate? Well, it's back and new and improved by the Ming Dynasty from 1368 to 1644 CE. The Ming Dynasty decided to raise the status of the censors within the censorate from 7A to 2A, which is a pretty big deal.
They also created a small bureaucracy, or hierarchy, within the censorate to prevent corruption within the agency.
So they were acting as a friend to their people by saying, oh, we completely trust you and everything, except for the fact that they had a whole spy agency that was used to spy on them. Take that, younger version of me. Next we have Queen Elizabeth I of England.
Queen Elizabeth I ruled in the late 1500s CE. She acted like any normal queen of England, but had an internal system of spies. Her spies would inform her of plots against her, including the Rodolphi plot.
planned out by Rodolphi, who wanted to replace her with Mary Queen of Scots. Some of the spies in Elizabeth's network were William Hurrell, William Cecil, and Lord Burleigh. William Hurrell even went to prison and gained information from the inmates there. Our last example is the Flying Squadron from late 1500s France. Catherine de' Medici, the Queen Mother at the time, used ladies of the royal court, such as Charlotte de Suave, to gain the attention of powerful men and gain political knowledge through relations and seduction with them. And now, it's time for the open letter. Dear Catherine de' Medici, I believe in you. Don't worry. I fully acknowledge that you exist, and so did your all-female spy agency, the Flying Squadron. Historians agree. Noted historian and expert Jean-Francois Sonon says, quote, "The Queen did not disdain the collaboration of the ladies of her household in order to accelerate or complete political negotiations." End quote. See, you exist. You're real. So why is it that whenever people hear the term Flying Squadron, all they think of is the U.S. Navy? Best wishes, Jane Blue. And now it's time for the modern day. And now it's time to talk about...
Wait for it. Poop.
Vladimir Putin is an ex-KGB officer. He was a spy during the time of the Cold War. He is then moved on to become leader of Russia, and he's installed spies internationally to gain intelligence on those nations. These spies pose as friendly journalists throughout the country. Oh my god, and then she was like, let's talk about the National Security Agency. The NSA, or National Security Agency, is a spy agency in the US that uses software on computers to spy internationally and internally within the country. They recently used surveillance and software to expose foreign leaders, and they act as friends to these leaders, but they may bug their phones or hack into computers. China puts spies in other countries to act as engineers in important facilities such as NASA and Boeing to gain intelligence on important projects for the military. Now it's time for you to take over the world. Pose as a friend, act as a spy. This is Jane Blue, signing off.